Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Double honors to the apostles, the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations, as always, to the elect. And as you can see, all right, this devil is becoming more and more bold of his true agenda and what he was sent in the earth to do. All right, and that's ultimately to bring in the philosophy of Satan, all right, which we know the word Satan, it just means adversary. What is he the adversary to? Righteousness. Okay, that's why when you read Revelation, the 13th chapter, and it speaks of Esau's beast system, it said that he had the name of blasphemy. Okay, everything that he's about, all right, when it comes down to it, is anti-righteousness. All right, whatever the law, statutes, commandments, whatever, morals, okay, establish, foundations and righteous behavior, he is directly opposed to it. All right. As a matter of fact, when you read the book of Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, okay, the 2nd chapter and the 4th verse, it says, "Behold, his soul, which is lifted up, is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith." All right, because as you go into end time prophecy, Esau, Edom would be the ruler. Okay, and it's becoming more and more evident of their true agenda to establish Satan's kingdom on earth. That's this new world order. Okay, and morals, values, and everything is getting more and more trashy, is getting more and more wicked. And it should be more and more evident who the devil is, but a lot of people are still in denial. You still have Israelites teaching that Japhet is currently ruling, all right? The people who are responsible for all of this wickedness being spread throughout the earth, putting us in this horrid, decrepit captivity, are the Japhites. No. Okay, these people are the Edomites according to the Holy Scriptures. Okay, the Japhites. Okay, like when you look up the Medes, okay, those were Japhetic people. All right, are you telling me those people are currently ruling now? No, it wasn't prophesied for them to rule now. It was the seed of Esau, Edom, which would be ruling now. All right, here to do the bidding of Satan. And they're becoming more and more blatant about their agenda. Okay, so that's why the just are going to have to live by faith, because they're passing unrighteous decrees to round particular people up. Okay, none of their lies are working anymore. They're being outed on every level. So what they're getting ready to do, which is what we've always told you is going to happen, is they're getting ready to lock it down, okay, using unrighteous decrees to ultimately silence and put to death anyone who's against their agenda. So we're going to need to live by extreme faith, all right, because it seems impossible that we have a way out, but it's written that we have a way out. And it's a miracle. A standard is getting ready to be lifted up. They're putting things in the food, the water, the air. All right. They're polluting the education even more. It was always polluted, but now they're pushing this heavily satanic agenda on the children openly. All right. And here it is. Our people are still arguing with one another. Meanwhile, look at what the devil is doing to them. All right, telling you have to do particular things in order to live on the earth. Your children too. All right. So it say, yea, also because he transgresseth by wine. All right, and that wine is his philosophies, his so-called religion, which is Satanism, rebellion. He is a proud man. Now, what does the scripture say in the book of Obadiah? The pride of thine heart has deceived thee. All right? Neither keepeth at home. He's all over the world spreading his wine. Okay, that's why the scriptures say Babylon hath been a golden cup in the hand of the Lord that have made the earth drunken. Okay, this Satan sauce has spread throughout the four corners of the earth, as the scripture said he would do once he was loosed for his little season. He's just about out of his little season, man. Good thing that the Lord have appointed bounds that he ain't going to pass, man, because everything would die. He has to be stopped. Who enlargeth his desire as hell and is as death and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations and heapeth unto him all people. I mean, if you have any sort of spirit about you, when you see these people get on the news and on the TV and these interviews, you can clearly see the spirit of Satan is on these people, man. And they're not going to stop. So he transgressed by wine. And in the scriptures, wine could be, literal wine. All right. But a lot of times it's symbolic for what? Things that make people drunk. All right. Drunk spiritually, man. Now, when you look at this article, okay, this was tweeted by USA Today, but then they deleted it, and they know what they're doing. Okay, because if you look at what's happening in the world, pedophilia is being normalized, it's being legalized. Okay? And this has always been what this devil was about. So pedophilia is misunderstood, USA Today claims, then deletes tweets. Okay? Now, this is another way that the image of the beast is speaking, because when you go back to that Greco-Roman Empire, they were boy lovers. Okay? They loved them some little boys, man. Okay? They love behavior that is anti-Messiah, anti-righteousness, Satan. And we'll get to the meaning of Satan here in a minute. All right. The outlet has erased the controversial Twitter thread. Now, the thing about the internet is nothing ever goes away. So they knew what they were doing when they put that out there. It's just that we're living in a time where Esau is going to be more bold about his agenda. All right. As we just read, he transgressed by wine. He is a proud man. One of America's largest newspapers has deleted a social media discussion of pedophilia after stirring outrage by claiming growing scientific consensus that sexual attraction to children is determined in the womb. Okay? And this is an old study going back to Alfred Kinsey. Okay? Even going further back. What's this dude's name? Aleister Crowley. You see? And when you go into their philosophy, the highest form of magic is sex with a little boy. They love to pollute, okay? They do it to little girls too, but they love to pollute what is innocent. That's just what they do. Right? And here it is. People still trust in these people, man. They're all a part of it. US Today posted a Twitter message on Tuesday to promote an article on pedophiles titled, "What the Public Keeps Getting Wrong About Pedophilia," because within the NWO, that will be a normal behavior. It's already been normalized. Okay? They're pushing this. Here it is. They're allowing trans people to come and read books to the children. It's all satanic. Everything's wicked, man. And nothing's being done. Okay, the Roman Catholic Church, millions and billions of children have been molested, destroyed. All of these pedophile rings get outed, but it's always swept under the rug, man. That's why we need a higher power to judge this situation, man. Look at the Epstein case. All of those big names that should have been outed were swept under the rug. Okay, Epstein supposedly off themselves. You all believe that? And then this lady supposedly gets 70 years and then that's it. But then when the whole time the trial was on, it was hidden from the public. Okay? So these people are absolutely wicked, man. And this is what they're all about. This is just one of the many perversions that they live by. Okay? Here it is, and this is all rooted going back to this guy. Okay? See? See, when these people talk about science, you Jake sitting up there, all right, believing in this so-called science, they have a whole nother form of science. All right? And they have these universities where they're able to study and do the most damnous and wicked things and do all of these tests, okay, to support this wickedness, man. And I'm not going to really be able to bring out too much on this guy because for some reason he's protected here in America. You go to YouTube, there's only a few videos really outing what this dude was all about. It used to be more. All right? It used to be more videos, but this dude, Alfred Kinsey, you can look him up for yourself, but he's known as the father of sexual revolution. Okay? And guess when he became hot on the scene? 1948. Okay? The same year that the state of so-called Israel was established. And they're all about the same thing, man. Pedophilia was promoted as science. It's the same thing that the USA Today was putting out there. They've always been about this. As we learned today, Alfred Kinsey was involved in arguably one of the most notorious cases of organized pedophilia that has seen the light of day. And there's way more. You see, for decades, Kinsey recruited pedophiles from prisons and paid them to molest their own children and the children of others to perform so-called science. And what was the science based upon? Children can enjoy sex too. I'm talking about newborns, 2-year-olds, 3-year-olds, all right? What they call prepubescent children, pre-puberty, right? Were used in all sorts of tests where he would sit there with a clicker, right? And they had these particular universities set up to where some parents would bring their own children. And they had these rings where they would have these children, they would bring them in and absolutely just rape them, right? And then whenever the child would squirm or scream, they would click that as, yeah, that they enjoying it. So this was the science behind, well, children, all right, 2-year-old can enjoy sex. Who are we to say that they don't? Here's the science to prove it. This is the bullshit that these people do. This is the rhetoric that runs this current world. Look it up. This is the devil, man, that the Bible speaks of. In Hollywood, okay, all of these things are rooted in these ideologies. And to get up in this society, you're going to have to partake in these types of behaviors, man. Anti-Messiah wickedness. That's why Jay-Z had that "Do As Thou Wilt" shirt. Who's that go back to? Aleister Crowley, who said basically, I want to be as vile as possible. The more vile you are on the left hand, the more Satan opens up blessings to you. And this dude was given a special on NBC News. Yeah. And when you look up how he passed away, I believe he hung himself by his rod. The rod came off. He bled out. The same way, I believe this dude, as a matter of fact, let me make sure. I don't want to put out, how did Alfred Kinsey die? Anyway, let's read this again. For decades, Kinsey recruited pedophiles from prisons and paid them to molest their own children and the children of others to perform so-called science. This was compiled and sold in a book that went viral in the mainstream. And his findings and his science is rooted in the laws today that are the reason that the crime of pedophilia is not really a big deal. They get off so easily. It's rooted in this man. You see? Because prior to him coming on the scene, America tried to hide behind the whole Christianity thing. Okay? They even had commercials that warned about pedophiles. Okay? Early America, women didn't wear revealing swimsuits. They didn't smoke cigarettes. But as time became more and more closer to the end, as we got closer to the end, their satanic agenda will really come out, man. He would no longer hide himself, and that's prophecy. And now that the prophets are on the scene, we're bringing light to all of these things. It says, so why does Hollywood, university professors, and much of the political establishment idolize a man who aided and abetted pedophilia crimes? Huh? Because all of them are Satan. That's why, man. And there's only one lady who really goes hardcore on this dude. She probably dead by now, but her name is Judith Reisman. Okay? Hugh Hefner, all of these dudes are ultimately uplifted in this world. But when you go into what they were all about, they were vile, man. And their behavior has spread throughout the whole four corners of the earth. Their mindset. And it's become the standard of so-called black culture. Look at how you niggas live. Look at how all of the tribes live, man. Wicked. No morals, nothing, man. Everything's just polluted.
Sure. Well, World War II was over, and officially in 45. Our guys were returning from overseas. They were traumatized. The nation was traumatized. And a couple of years later, 1948, Kinsey's book comes out called
1948. Very interesting.
Sexual Behavior in the Human Male. And the propaganda around it, and I do officially call that propaganda, was marketing propaganda, was that this man, this great conservative scientist, was going to tell the American public the truth about all of us, what we were doing sexually, what our grandparents were doing sexually, and our parents were doing sexually, and he was going to reveal the real facts and lift the curtain off what we were hiding all this time. And what that was that we were really a bunch of sexual adventurers, and that mommy and daddy were involved in various kinds of adultery, and that everybody was doing all these bizarre things. And the public didn't necessarily believe it, but a lot of the professors certainly did, and so it was picked up in universities all over the country, and from there it filtered down to every place.
Who funded his study?
Yes, well, the Rockefeller Foundation not only funded his study, but when he looked like he was getting in big trouble with Congress, they shifted the money from Kinsey directly into what they call the American Law Institute Model.
You hear that? The Rockefellers, they are involved in some of the most notorious wicked things that have spread wine and wickedness all throughout the four corners of the earth, man. So a lot of this stuff a lot of evil is funded by the Rockefellers, man.
Penal code, which is why I'm here in the law school, because our laws were gutted and were changed based on all these frauds and these lies.
Dr. Reisman, why did you call him a conservative
Oh,
scientist?
because they defined him as conservative. Americans would never have accepted a man who was as well, he was a bi homosexual. There's big argument of which is which, but no argument. He was certainly a bizarre person. He was having sex with his students. He was having sex, making pornography up in his attic and in the university. He was engaged in so many bizarre things, including things that actually brought about orchitis, which was damage, massive damage to his lower nether regions, because he was so abusive to himself. So this was not a normal guy, and he certainly was the major proponent of the idea that children are sexual from birth and that they can be unharmed by sex with adults.
You heard that? Children are sexual from birth and are unharmed by sex with adults.
Given that this happened in 1948, are there lasting effects to the Kinsey studies?
Huge, absolutely huge. I had no idea when I started on this thing. I really didn't. I just copied off his charts and graphs with this little 2 month old baby and with this little 5 year old, and all these things are being done to these children and calling them orgasms around the clock 24. I just copied them off and I sent it to my colleagues, as in the ethical field of science. And I thought, well, okay, I'll go do something else. They'll take care of it. And that was in 1980. So they didn't take care of it. And it took me years to figure out why. And it turned out that, yes, Kinsey's research became the foundation for major changes, every major change in our sex laws, and have gone through to today globally. I just came back from a global tour. Kinsey's everywhere. In China, indeed, and in Serbia.
That's disturbing to hear, man. Let's get Jeremiah 51. Jeremiah 51:7. Babylon have been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that have made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore, the nations are mad. And all over the world, okay, pedophilia, sexual perversion, wickedness, evil is the standard, man. And at the hub of it is Babylon the Great, man. Sex with animals, all sorts of madness. So when U.S. Today tweets this, it's rooted in what we're talking about, man. And all of them are a part of it. Now, I'm not going to go into too much more. All right. I'll put a few links. All right. Where you can look up this guy if you want to learn more about how wicked these devils are. Okay. Just hearing that, man. But then Jake is going to push BS that links us with this behavior, man. That's all right. That's all right, man. Yeah, I'll put some links in the description box. Okay, but yeah. Yep, it says, let's read it again. This is what the U.S. Today tweeted. A pedophile is an adult who is sexually attracted to children, but not all pedophiles abuse kids. And some who sexually abuse kids are not pedophiles. See, this is their philosophy. All right? U.S. Today wrote, it added that evidence suggests pedophilia is inborn and better access to therapy can help pedophiles to control their impulses. In a righteous world, they would be put down, man. They would be back in the spirit world, man. All right? Burned alive. The original tweet was quickly taken down on Twitter, and U.S. Today later said it decided to pull down the entire thread because it allegedly lacked content that was provided by the article, which was behind a paywall. However, the newspaper later removed the paywall, allowing non-subscribers to access the title. And this is just how these Edomites get down. Okay? your government, the elites of this world. It's deeper than what we just read. It goes even further. All right? So let's get a few scriptures real quick. And I'm going to read this out of the NLT. Second Thessalonians 2:6. And you know what is holding him back, for he can be revealed only when his time comes. And Esau is being revealed in these times. Okay? All of the secret things that he did is being brought out to the forefront. For his lawlessness is already at work secretly. All right? Back there in the Roman Empire. Okay? And that image is ultimately speaking now through this beast system. And it will remain secret until the one who is holding it back steps out of the way. Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. Then the man of lawlessness will be revealed. All right. But Yahushai will kill him with the breath of his mouth, the prophets, and destroy him by the splendor of his coming, those chariots. All right. Only a higher power can stop these people. That's why Yahushai said, I will not meet thee as a man. This man will come to do the work of Satan with counterfeit power and signs and miracles, pseudoscience, lies, technology. Let's look up the word Satan. Satanas, adversary, one who opposes another. All right. The prince of evil spirits, and who on the planet Earth operates for him? Esau. Not Japhet, Esau, the so-called white man. A Satan-like man. Okay? The worshipers of idols are said to be under his control, and it's all tied to idol worship. He incites apostasy from God into sin. He pushes, what's apostasy? Abandonment from the law, statutes, and commandments. Abandonment from righteousness. That's the culture that's being set up all throughout the four corners of the earth. That is the NWO at the end of the day. Why do you think it's being so blatantly pushed on the children? And niggas don't have nothing to say about this. This man will come to do the work of Satan. You see that? What man? The Edomites. With counterfeit power, signs, and miracles, he will use every kind of evil deception to fool those on their way to destruction because they refuse to love and accept the truth that would save them. So this is speaking to you Edomites, man. This is why a hardcore destruction is coming to you. This is not a regular evil that these people are doing, man. It's next level evil, man. Obadiah 1:6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Through what? The prophets, man. It's all through the spirit of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, but there's a spirit on the earth to expose what this man is really all about. Okay? Oh, and check this out. Now, I'm not going to play it. This is off of a call for an uprising. You can see that title. Everyone needs to look and see what's inside of this building. Now, what building is it? You see it highlighted right there, right? Okay. And what is it? An Egyptian idol, man. Showing you that we are in Revelation 11:8, and their dead bodies. No. Let me get that in the King James. Give me 1 second. Revelation 11:8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city, which is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. where also our Lord was crucified. Now, this is a spiritual Sodom. What went on in Sodom? Evil, wickedness, pedophilia, bestiality, men with men, women with women, orgies, sexual perversions, right? Egypt, Sodom and Egypt. We're in this spiritual Sodom and Egypt right now. You see? Wisdom of Solomon 12:3. For it was thy will to destroy by the hands of our fathers both those old inhabitants of thy holy land. Now, who's the inhabitants of the Holy Land today? All right. You don't think it's ironic that Kinsey, his book, became published and pushed out there as science around the same time that these people inhabited the Holy Land? Why would they allow that? If the true people of the Most High set themselves up in the Holy Land in 1948, how was all of this evil able to spread, man? Whom thou hatest for doing the most odious works of witchcraft. And this is speaking of those Canaanites. But now, who's there now doing that which is then is now? And they're doing the most odious works of witchcrafts and wicked sacrifices. And also those merciless murderers of children and devourers of men's flesh and feasts of blood, with their priests out of the midst of their adulterous crew, and parents that kill with their own hands souls destitute of help. And here it is. We just read parents brought their own children to this garbage. And who founded it? The Rockefellers. Right? And boy, oh boy, when you read about this dude, man. So the USA Today is basically continuing that legacy to do what? Normalize pedophilia. And it's already normalized. Wow. So yeah, I'm gonna put this article in the post in the description, and you read it on your own, because if I read it all, YouTube protects these people. Okay, let's just type in Alfred Kinsey, right? Now this will pop up. All right, well, you just type him in. You would think that, here. So look at CBS Sunday Morning. See if they're condemning this guy.
Morning Almanac, June 23rd, 1894.
Got the classical music playing, putting you in the mood of like this guy is someone to big up. This is America. And you don't this is why this place is going to be destroyed.
125 years ago today, the day sex researcher Alfred Charles Kinsey was born in Hoboken, New Jersey. A trained biologist, Kinsey achieved fame, even notoriety, in the 1940s and 50s with a pair of best-selling books about male and female sexual behavior. Controversial research he defended on scientific ground.
So it's just controversial. They just skimmed over it as controversial. This man wasn't misunderstood. He was wicked. Kinsey wrote about pre-adolescent orgasms using data in tables 30 to 34 of the male volume was report observations of orgasms. Now, how in the hell can a 2-year-old have an orgasm? How can you have an orgasm without puberty? These people were absolutely wicked. They glanced over his vile behavior and called it controversial. No, he was a monster. Look, I wish we had more people like him. You know he gonna get cursed out for that comment. You're an idiot. And there's people. You see people, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, Harvey Weinstein. And R. Kelly and Bill Cosby are nowhere near the level of this guy and what these elite Edomites did. See, they're just using them as the face of these behaviors, but the real monsters, all right, because R. Kelly, I mean, those women, 15, 16, now the practices behind it, tying them up and locking them up. If that's true, all of that's wicked, which all of these niggas are wicked. Bill Cosby, those were grown women. Nah, these people, I'm talking about 2-year-olds. Okay? 2-year-olds. 3-year-olds. Torturing them, saying that their screams were orgasms and recording it and making it a science that still runs the world today as to why pedophiles aren't really penalized that much. Doesn't the CIA own CBS? Pure evil. Yeah, so here it is. They're big up in this guy on CBS. And the findings and the stuff he did is just controversial. It's just controversial. And to hell with R. Kelly and Bill Cosby. They're a bunch of losers. But the bottom line is, come on, man. The parents, all right, that brought their daughters to this nigga need to be held accountable, because for years you all and you niggas, when he was with Aaliyah, everybody clapped, right? Wasn't that a so-called illegal relationship here in America? What, she was like 16, 15? And they said they made an album, Age Ain't Nothing But a Number. Niggas clapped. Right? Oh boy, man. Anyway, I am going to look at no more of this, but you look him up and you got people, bringing out his findings, and it's not really, you don't see any real big condemnation except to her. This nigga got a movie? Wow. This nigga got a movie. Yeah. This is a sick world, man. This is a sick world. And there used to be all kinds of videos out in them, but as we getting closer and closer to the end, they're hiding all of that. Lord willing, this video stays up, because I'm gonna put it on YouTube. And they're all a part of this. They're all a part of this. Check this out. This guy, okay, Bob Saget, okay, which him, her, was it Betty White? And I was looking at Jake's reaction to her and him dying. It's like, what the? These people are sick, man.
People always ask me how I stay so youthful. I tell them I eat well, get plenty of rest, and every third Sunday I drink the blood of a virgin. And these days, they're getting harder and harder to find.
Now, every Thursday I drink the blood of a virgin, and these days they're getting harder and harder to find. What does it say here? Verse 5, and also those merciless murderers of children, the devourers of men's flesh, and feast of blood, and with their priests out of their the midst of their adulterous crew. Hollywood is a big part of satanic practices as well. And Jake idolizes these people. Jake was crying, oh my God, man, she was, oh, Betty. Dumb niggas. And that, you niggas are the worst that they've ever been, man. This is off of the Elder Inops page. GMS iSalve 144, subscribe. I'm going to play this, and I'll get a few more, and I'm going to close it out.
embraced the role of Danny Tanner and became the TV dad to a generation of fans.
You got it, dude.
Lest there be any, Hebrews 12 and 16. Y'all just use these scriptures. Lest there be any fornicator or profane person. Now, what does profane mean? True profanity is the behaviors that we're going into. It's outside of the temple. It's outside of what is right. It's contrary to the law. Esau promotes any and every behavior that's outside of what's morally right in the law. As Esau, who for one morsel of meat sold his birthright.
Elijah Wood's shocking allegations against the entertainment industry. In a new interview with the Sunday Times, the former child star alleges that pedophilia has been a real issue in Hollywood.
You got it, dude.
And all kind of people have come out and said Hollywood was they were molested and destroyed, and nothing's been done. Roman Catholic Church, nothing's been done. All of these things that come out about the government, nothing's being done. So that's why the Lord said that he was going to make Inquisition. You see? Second Esdras. And what does it say in verse 9? Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, man. So these unrighteous dealings, all right, are being called out. Verse 18, and it said, behold, the days come where I begin to draw nigh and to visit them that dwell on the earth. And we can clearly see this earth is being visited. And will begin to make inquisition of them what they be that have hurt unjustly with their unrighteousness, and when the affliction of Zion shall be fulfilled. And inquisition is an investigation. See that? And when the world shall begin to vanish away, and this world is vanishing away, shall be finished, Esau's world, then will I show these tokens, the book shall be opened before the firmament, and they shall all see together. The Holy Spirit's been sent down. Okay, and now the internet has allowed this word to spread, and Esau's exposing to spread throughout the four corners of the earth, man. These are the times we in, and we're all seeing it together. Call halal Yahweh Bahashem Yahweh Shai, because this stuff is wicked, man.
Bob Saget is a sick bastard.
It's kind of like Cirque du Soleil, but more like Jerk du Soleil, because that's what they're going to do to each other. They walked in this guy's office, and the agent goes, well, what do you people do? And the father's like, watch us. The father's like ripping off his kid's clothes, and he takes his wife's bra and he throws it off of her, and he rips off her underwear, and he takes some of her pubes with it. It's horrible, and there's a little bit of blood starts dripping down her leg.
Sick.
And they're all like, there's women and children are walking up here right now. So the father's like totally undressing his whole family, and then he gets out an epaulette, he starts shaving his wife's back. His daughter's got like a little, she's having her friend, she's having her period, is what she's having. So he just pulls out the tampon and throws it at the window, and it sticks. And then they all just start fucking each other. They go down on each other in all different configurations. It's 69, it's 29 because the kids are young. It's 9. The father bends his kid over on the guy's desk, and he's like taking him from behind. All of a sudden, the kid can't take it. Diarrhea starts squirting out of his.
Oh my goodness!
Stop. It's like a hemorrhaging shit ass. The kid starts spinning in a circle because he can't control it. It's kind of like Curly in the Stooges. Mo, Larry the Cheese. He's spinning it in a circle.
This is a joke to them.
It's flying out of him. It's going all over the room. It's like a spinner. The room has got feces just dripping down. This poor kid is convulsing. He starts throwing up. You don't know whether to shit. And they
and Kinsey, that's the type of stuff they were doing. Would say, far out. Yeah, this is the science that we can use to forward our agenda. And all of the laws are rooted in his science as far as sexual perversions and things like that. That's why there's just slaps on the wrist. They sweep these things under the rug, because this is what they are about. The biblical Edomites, baby.
Get a puke in this room. That's how. What the fuck am I doing?
That's funny to him.
Natural comic delivery.
This is how I brainwash the children on the shore. I make them listen to my special music.
He's just telling you he brainwashing children. Woo.
Why should we pick Bob Saget, who raped and killed a girl in 1990? Well, first of all, it's not true. It's not true that Bob Saget raped and killed a girl in 1990. How do you make an ass hurt? The Olsen twins say, well, Bob Saget hands you a chocolate milk that he just made, and you wake up 3 hours later lying on your stomach.
Now, it's all funny to them. It's funny. Is that Hillary? It's funny to them. This is what they do.
What a tough gig that must have been, huh? His entire job consisted of saying, take a look at this, which is what he used to say to Mary Kate Olsen in her dressing room.
And the Olsen twins, who were on that Full House show, because we all used to watch it. You growing up, you think Esau's an angel, right? But they're all through. Go look at the Olsen twins. Let's look at them ugly niggas, man. Give me 1 second. Yo, E gotta go. And they're getting ready to go. And Jake still want to argue about some fringes, man. All right. And they came out on this dude. They look terrible, man. Why do all of these children who go to Hollywood eventually just end up all messed up? What kind of sick environment just destroys children? That's why it calls them merciless murderers of children, man. Through. Man. And they came out and said they didn't want nothing to do with him. Now, what do you think all of them were doing with these little children? Huh? This is a sick world, man. See how they started off? Oh. Now they look horrible, man. One of them looks worse than the other, but they look horrible. Through.
I love him like a perverted uncle who pays for lunch and then follows me into the men's room. Now should have been called Blackjack because you hit on the Olsons when they were 8. You didn't stop till they were 21. Is it true that you used to give Mary Kate acting lessons? He'd tell her, act like this never happened. Bob Saget is a sick bastard. He has 2 daughters in college and 3 girlfriends in high school. Most comics dream of performing in Las Vegas, Nevada. Bob Saget dreams of performing in Hannah, Montana.
Bob has done a lot for this country. For 8 seasons, half an hour a week, Full House kept pedophiles off the street. In fact, 3 of them were on the show.
I'm glad I got out of sitcoms before you killed them. You didn't just kill sitcoms, you raped them and left them for dead in a ditch.
This is funny. So that wasn't Hillary, that was her.
The other day, after all these years, I'd never met the Olsen twins. He introduced me to them. I said to him, how do I tell them apart? He says, Ashley swallows.
And that's funny to these people. Then they die, and niggas like Talib Kweli, man, I had the pleasure of meeting this guy, man. He was a stand-up dude. This is sick,
Not
man.
topical. It's just about. It's as if it's as if it's about your life. You know?
How come none of my friends ever have a dungeon? Instead, they all just have rape dungeons. So it's not a regular dungeon, is what you're saying.
Dungeon.
Thanks for again. The bus. I've never been thrown under an entire Trailways fleet.
You have any proof that Bob Saget raped and killed a girl in 1990? Stop gossiping and go right to the police with it.
The Most High gonna destroy these Edomites, man. Psalms 101:7, he that worketh deceit shall not dwell within my house. He that telleth lies shall not tarry in my sight. So you Edomites are going to be taken down. And it started with this word going out. So, yeah.
The Sunday Times, the former child star, alleges that pedophilia has been a real issue in Hollywood. He tells the publication, quote, there are a lot of vipers in this industry, people who only have their own interests in mind. What bums me about these situations is that the victims can't speak as loudly as the people in power. That's the tragedy of attempting to...
And when they speak out, okay, they're silenced. There's nothing done about it. But that's all right. Inquisition is being made of you devils. I'll put this article and maybe this video and a few other things I found. And yeah. So when USA Today tweets stuff like this, know that this is their philosophy. This is what all of them do. This is what they believe. All right? His soul which is lifted up in him is not right, but the just shall live by faith, man. Shalom.